Hello. You've met this little one before. Do you remember? Her name's Simone. You met her about 18 months ago when she was a little baby drinking out of a bottle. But as you can see, she's growing quite big, a beautiful chimp, and like all chimps with this lovely black hair. Like all chimps? Well, of course, there are white blackbirds, aren't there? And, of course, there's the famous white tigers. And are there any pink elephants? I don't think so, but there are chocolate-coloured chimps. Yes, chocolate chimps. Now, Molly Badham at Twycross Zoo has got a chimp, a chocolate chimp, just like you, but it's chocolate. Yes, yes. And she's got a little baby too.
The chocolate chimp we're looking at was found 5 years ago by a dealer in Senegal, and she was offered to us and purchased by the zoo for really a very high price. On the other hand, she's extremely rare. There are only 2 others on show anywhere in the world. Unfortunately, both are females. It just isn't possible to mate her to a male chocolate chimp. The baby is obviously black because black is a dominant colour, but we're delighted to see that although it has black hair, it's got the tangerine-coloured skin of the mother and also very pale eyes. In fact, we can see a tremendous difference between this and a previous baby chimp. Coco is a delightful mother. She takes great care of it, and it's giving everybody tremendous pleasure in the zoo to see how really well she's caring for the baby. The black chimp in with Coco is there as a companion because they're very social. They groom each other, they admire the baby, and it really is quite like mum and auntie. And chimps need this social life. They hate being isolated. In fact, ultimately, we hope to get Coco and the baby in with a larger group of chimps because tremendous interest goes right down the chimp colony when they realise that there's a new arrival.
Of course, there was a time when animals in captivity were just bunged into cages, and that was that. But now we know better because animals, like human beings, are affected by their surroundings. I mean, you give an animal a rotten old house, and before long you've got a rotten old animal. So what sort of accommodation do they need? The best sort of suitable accommodation? Well, now it's a bit of a problem. And the director of Bristol Zoo is here with such a problem. Hello, Geoffrey. Yes. Nice of you to come.
My pleasure.
Now, you are going to build a new ape house. Yeah. What's going to happen?
Well, we've been planning this for about 4 years. We've been very successful in the last years. We've bred gorillas and orangutans, chimpanzees. But they've been kept in solitary conditions with their mother and baby. And so we hope in the next 18 months to have several family groups. The main attraction will be our gorilla family. We hope to have 7 to 8. Our gorilla is pregnant for the 2nd time, and we hope to have a really well-integrated group. On either side, there'll be other family groups, orangutans and chimpanzees. We've even got an inside cage, we hope, with show the mothers with their babies if they're isolated. And there'll be no more bars, there'll be just sheer glass. And the public will be able to stand next to a mother and baby or a big gorilla.
So what sort of house have you really made for the gorillas, Jeff?
Well, it's we have a certain amount of space problem at Bristol Zoo, but we have a social house, we hope to call it, and show the integrated family reactions. And underneath it all will be their service passageways where the keepers will have very close contact with the animals. And the animals will have their little sleeping boxes so the animal has a little coding kept away, or the mother can be kept with the babies.
Well, now, I know that if you have a new house built and you want to place the electric light points, you never get them in the right place, do you?
I spent hours and hours and months on this. And we think we've got all the problems ironed out now. And matter of fact, the demolition started on the old site, which is the old lion house. And this hoped to be ready for Easter 76. And then we start on your lion accommodation as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Geoffrey. We wish you the best of luck with your new ape house. 76 Easter. Well, now, we thought it'd be a good idea, from time to time on this programme, to ask you to identify an animal. And we thought that if you got the identity right, you might like to get a prize. That is the first one out of the bag with the right answer. and we thought this book would be a very nice prize, the Mitchell Beazley Atlas of World Wildlife. Now, we would like you to identify an animal. Now, if you don't get it the first time, don't worry, because we're going to show you this animal 3 times during the course of this programme, 3 times. Now, watch very carefully. It's coming up now. There we are. Well, it's a snake. Obviously, it's a snake, but we want you to tell us where you would find it, in which English county, and whether or not it is poisonous. So that's not so bad, is it? So you've got another 2 chances to have a look at that snake. So don't worry. Don't duck out, not yet, because we're just going to duck in with this duck and Andrew Sheppy. Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
Nice of you to come along. Quite the strangest duck I've seen for many a long day.
Well, yes, this is a white-crested duck, Johnny, and he is rather unusual. And there are very, very few of them, in fact, in the country. Only a handful of people are keeping them, so they're quite a rare thing. And we're hoping to breed from this one next year. Quite an interesting fellow. They've all got the little top knot.
It's very, very saucy, isn't it, there?
Well, it can be, and he can be a bit saucy as well sometimes.
But it suits him, doesn't it? Just
I think
on
so,
the
yes,
side like
yes.
that. Where do they come from?
Well, we're not really sure. I think the most likely place is the Far East, China, or somewhere like this. But as to being certain, well, I'm afraid we're not. We just don't know exactly where they came from.
No, but I mean, as far as a duck goes, it's a duck.
It's a duck,
yeah.
an ordinary duck, the same as the one you probably had with your green peas for dinner.
Oh, dear. Well, now, we've got some more poultry in here. What have we got?
Well, this is a Langshan.
Yeah?
It's a Langshan fowl. It's a British variety developed from an old Chinese variety, the crowed or original Langshan. And as you can see, he's tremendously tall.
Yeah.
And he is, in fact, only a baby. He's one of this year's youngsters.
This year?
This year's youngsters, yes. And eventually he will grow quite a bit bigger than this. At the moment, he's only 3/4 grown.
And he's got a very long neck and very long
Yes.
legs.
Bred for that, for ornament, just to look at, and not as an economic breed at all.
I see. Well, it's a very handsome bird because it's a most beautiful colour, sort of a blue bottle colour, isn't it?
Yes, something like the blue bottle.
What else have we got in the conjurer's basket?
Well, in here we have this, which is a white sultan fowl. And the white sultan fowl...
It's not true.
...from Turkey is all feathers. Yeah. She will have a lot more feathers when she's finished her molt. She's a little bit loose in the feather at the moment.
Yeah. What is this extraordinary top knot?
Well, that's just a ball of feathers together with its beard and muff underneath.
Yeah. Now, this comes from Turkey, and it's a pretty ancient breed.
It's a very old and a very rare breed. There are only about 10 people in the world that keep these.
Yeah. Now, you're a sort of an antique collector, a collector of ancient breeds of chickens and ducks and so on.
Well, I'm involved with the Rare Breeds Survival Trust and the Rare Breeds Society in looking after all the old and rare breeds of domestic things, including poultry.
Yeah.
And we hope that we can keep them for future generations.
Yeah.
Things like this stop them from becoming extinct.
Well, that's very beautiful. Do you think it was bred for decoration, that one?
Mostly, yes. They're quite a good layer, but more for decoration than for anything else.
Now, what else have we got?
What?
Familiar old noise, isn't it, eh?
But this is a Nankin Bantam, again from China.
Nanking Bantam,
yes, from China. Probably the ancestor of all the little bantams that you see running about as pets and for fancy birds.
Yeah.
And these yellow chicken have been known in the Far East in China for many centuries. And this is probably the ancestral type of nearly all the bantams that there are.
It's a very pretty little bird,
Very
isn't it?
pretty, yes. With a filthy temper.
Has it really?
Yes.
In what way?
Well, the hens are quite lively and will bite, but the cocks will absolutely rip you to pieces if you get too close to them. They're very, very temperamental.
Are they?
Yes.
Well, do be careful with that one, Andrew, and thank you very much
It's a pleasure,
for coming
Johnny.
along. Thank you. Well, now, I think it's time that we had a look at that snake again. This is your second chance, so you've got to be quick. The snake's moving pretty quickly. There he goes. Don't forget, we want to know whether it's poisonous or not, and in what English county it's found. Now, you're going to get another go. Now, it's quite easy to recognise some animals, isn't it? I know in Africa, you can recognise some animals, nearly a mile away. You can see them there with their great long necks, feeding from the tops of the trees, eating the leaves that other animals cannot possibly reach. Ah, yes, well, you don't happen to have any tall trees around at the moment, do you?
No, we don't. Just some tall grass. We could do with some high-up food.
Some high-up food. Now, let's see. Up there. It's some hay. Caw, how high are you now? 10 feet. 4. And how high now? 18 feet. Ooh, that's enough. Aye. Still, giraffes like nice high-up food, so we'll get the highest up food we can find. Do you think you can make it? Just. Now, that's a very high-up bit of hay. Ready? Look out.
Quite a come-down for that high-up hay.
Daft, isn't it? That high-up hay has had to come down, and now it's got to go high up again. Right, high up. You see, we just haven't got enough trees for giraffes. In Africa, they just wander about for miles and miles, just nibbling a little here and a little there.
We do not nibble.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I would have thought that's just what you did with a tree, nibble it.
Oh, you're so dreadfully wrong, so dreadfully wrong. It is not our nature to nibble. We carefully select and dissect.
Do you? Well, you can begin operations on that lot.
One thing I can't stand is vulgarity.
Really? Giraffes are always talking about vulgarity. I'm not vulgar. Come on, for a nibble.
A very vulgar keeper who serves meals in a vulgar fashion. I shall advise the others not to touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
All right. Be like that. I'll go and attend to your cousins. Now, the giraffe has one relative, a fairly close relative. If you look at his tongue... A rare and beautiful beast, but frightfully shy at times. Aren't you? You okapis?
Well, we are, yes. You see, we've always led very sheltered lives in the forests.
In the forests?
Oh, yes. Unlike our relatives, the giraffes, who live in the more open plains, don't you know?
Yeah, I do know.
Of course, in the forests, there's a lot of vegetation. Leaves and that, don't you know?
Yes, I know.
And it's not terribly high up or terribly low down. It's just the right height.
Oh, the right height?
Yes, well, the right height for us.
Of course.
And trees are the right height for the giraffes.
Of course. Oh, I must take them a bit of tree. They do like it. Oh, where are you going with that? It's for the giraffes. Fancy eating that? Oh, not bad. Not bad at all.
It's infuriating. It's infuriating.
Better let him have a leaf or two. Yes. Right, that's enough. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Ah, at last you've brought us something that we can enjoy.
Yes, a nice bit of high-up tree.
Good. Something from which we can select and dissect.
Exactly.
How are our relatives, the okapis?
Oh, they're frightfully well.
Oh, so glad to hear it. We're a very well brought-up family, you know.
Oh, yes, very well brought up. You've been brought up quite a long way, haven't you? About 17 feet, I would say.
Yes, about that. About that. Very well brought up.
Very well brought up. Very well brought up indeed. Well, now, it's time to have our last at... Who was that? That was you, was it? I was just going to say it's time to have a look at our snake again. So let's have a look at our snake again. And don't forget, we'd like you to tell us whether it's poisonous or not. We'd also like you to tell us from which English county you would find it. Now, somewhere like that, do you think? Somewhere like that. Well, now, I suppose when you go to the seaside, you sometimes take with you a face mask and a snorkel to see what goes on underneath the waves. And what do you see? Well, plastic bottle, old boot, old tin can. Depends where you go, doesn't it? Now, if you go to a coral island, a coral reef, I should say. If you go to a coral reef, you'll see something very different. And we've got somebody with us today who knows a lot about coral reefs, David Bellamy.
Hello. Well, you know, it's very nice of Johnny to let me come on Animal Magic because I'm a botanist, and botanists, of course, study plants, not animals at all. You know, and one of the main differences between plants and animals is that animals rush about all over the place, whereas plants stand still. But, you know, some animals stand still just as much as plants. You watch this film. Now, that really does make me feel at home because I've flown here straight from the South American Caribbean, and just a couple of days ago I was swimming off Cartagena in a coral reef like that. And there's plenty of movement there, the animals like the fish moving about, but they wouldn't be there at all if it wasn't for the coral animals. And the coral animals stand still because they gradually, slowly grow and build the reef. Just look at that stag's horn coral there. Lots of little crevices and branches for the fish to hide in. And fish are, you know, rather like the birds on dry land. The fish, they even set up a dawn chorus. They make a great racket in the early morning. They nest, they lay eggs, they migrate, just like the real birds. So the fish are really the birds of the coral reef. And if it wasn't for the reef, they wouldn't have a home, they wouldn't have protection, and there wouldn't be nearly as many fish in the coral sea. Now, there you can see one of the coral animals with the polyps out feeding. All the little tentacles come out of the end and catch their food. They've got pretty wicked stinging cells, and they catch their food from the sea round about, you see. And this gives protection not only for the fish, but for some beautiful snails. Here you can see one crawling its way over a very delicate sort of coral, because not all of them are great stony things. Some, like these gorgonians or the horny corals, are quite delicate and wave about in the breeze. But they are only found in deeper water, or in abundance in deeper water. And in the shallower water, we get the real stony corals, the one that actually build the reef. Now, corals are like plants in another way, not just because they stand still. You see, they're very, very special. Now, here's one. This is one of my favourite corals because this is a solitary one, and although it's a great lump of sort of limestone rock, it can gradually move about on the seafloor very, very slowly. And if you bury it, then it unburies itself very, very quickly because the polyps have got to be able to protrude from here to feed the animal. But in those polyps are many thousands of tiny little plants, and they live in the tissues of the animal, and they help the animal to go about his everyday business because they fix energy from the sun, and some of that energy, we think, is passed on to the coral animal, and that helps him have enough energy to build the rock. And the fascinating thing is, if there's not enough light, then the poor old coral animal is not going to be able to build coral rock. Now, we can prove this in rather an exciting way, and I only wish, you know, you could come down with me for a dive over the reef. We'll have to do it in our imagination. So we've just got into the water, you know, there were sharks about, so we've got to be a bit careful, and we go down into the coral gardens, and the first sorts of coral we come across are beautifully branched, very, very delicate things, and the polyps poke out the end of each one of these, feeding and allowing the light to get to the little plants that live inside. You see, and there's so much light in the shallow water that it doesn't matter if it's all bright. So a coral polyp down here will be shaded by all the other ones on top, but there's still enough light penetrating into the shallow water to allow them to get on with the job of building reef rock. Now, as we go deeper, we're now down to about 60 foot, and we start to lose the branching colonies, and we come across these whacking great big brain corals, beautiful things. Look at that intricate pattern on the surface of the skeleton. Now, from that will come numerous of the polyps, and you see, all of them are going to get just as much light. There's no bother of shading here at all. There is less light, but every one of the polyps will get its fair share. And, of course, even a large brain coral's got to start off as a little one, although this is a different sort, and it takes a long, long time to get from there to that side. And, of course, they do come much bigger. As long as they've got the right sort of food and enough light, they can build the rock. So now we're down at the wonderful 100-foot mark, getting very, very exciting now. Now, down at this depth, everything is blue and silver grey because most of the coloured light have been filtered out by the great column of water on top of it. And this coral, great encrusting coral, it glows red And it must be producing its own red coloration, because I've said there is no red light at this depth. So it's very exciting to find that one, because this one tells us we're now really getting into deep water. And finally, at the bottom of the reef, we come across the most delicate of all, plate-like, stuck on the side of the reef at right angles, so as they get the full impact of any light which is coming down onto them. So we can see this whole zonation. They're very, very much like plants. And just to add to Johnny's snake competition, I'll throw this one in as a second prize, the coral that glows in the dark.
Thank you very much, David Bellamy. Now, how's the snake getting on? Do you know what it is? If you do, put your answer on a postcard, please, on a postcard, and send it to this address. Animal Magic, BBC, White Ladies Road, Bristol, BS8, 2LR. Got it? And on a postcard, please, and not to me, but to that address, and on a postcard. And send it straight away, because we want to have your answers straight away. Now, I think that's all we've got time for today. Dottie's here. She enjoys her Tuesdays here. She's a little quieter nowadays, I feel. Perhaps she's had rather a busy summer up at the zoo, I don't know. But she's here today. She'll be here next Tuesday. We all look forward to seeing you, and so until then, from all of us here, bye-bye.